better than a manual.
Love it.
That hooks up to your battery system, which this is your propane. You have 2 tanks on this one. Already came with it. They are the bigger ones. That's just what came on top of it.
Nice. Do you think you need to fill those, or do you think they're full?
These each have a little bit in there.
Okay.
But we can't fully fill them
Okay.
unless they're brand new. Part
Okay.
of the policy. You do have 2 battery boxes, but it only comes with 1 battery. This one is the one that has the battery in it. Fully charged. Your disconnect is also right here.
Okay.
On the left side.
Okay.
Your front part, this is just a drop hitch. So once you get the ball connected, that'll drop all the way down. That's how you know you're connected fully.
Okay. Quick question on batteries. Being a newbie,
Yeah.
we're running this with the batteries. What else?
So 12 volt, well, this trailer is hooked up so 12 volt can run off of plug-in. But 12 volt mainly, if you don't have an outside power source, would be your lights, your jack, things like your fridge, minor appliances. Your microwave won't work.
Okay.
Other larger things, like if you had a 5th wheel, washer and dryer wouldn't work, stuff like that.
Okay.
Slides probably won't work on
the battery
12 volt at all.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll probably need either a charge pack or a plug-in source.
Okay.
So, I think that's about it for the front sides for this little light, which has a secondary switch at the front. I'll show you where that is, and a level. It's pretty nice. You also have one right here on this side.
Okay. Perfect.
This is your breezeway cubby, so this one goes all the way through. They did some work on the bed to make sure that you had better support, but you can just put pretty much anything in there.
Nice.
Your jacks are fully electric. They are kind of old, but the ground, the other one will go all the way down.
Okay.
Very slow. Actually, you know what, let's go ahead and get that oil out.
Yeah. Okay. Help the squeaking.
Make sure it runs better. It's got to work its way through.
Yeah.
Oh, nice and quiet.
I like it. I like it.
There we go. Now these motors are just strong enough to keep it where it is. They will not pick up the trailer.
Okay.
People who try and lift it up or adjust it, like level it, and they'll burn out their motor and they'll call us like, hey, this bad problem happened. Well,
So as far as leveling,
leveling would be your front jack.
okay.
So that'll be what you do for front leveling up and down. Side to side, the best I can offer is putting like chocks and extra blocks underneath.
Underneath
your
it,
wheels.
just to level it up. Okay.
If you have a like a 5th wheel, they have stabilizing systems, so it makes it a lot easier. It is a process, but it's really strong motors. So thing is automatic. I'll show you where the switch is on the inside, as well as your speakers. They're controlled on the inside through your radio. This is your water fill. So if you need a source of water and you're not at a campsite or where they provide a water source, this is where your water fill is. This is a gravity tank. You just take off this cap. You put a water hose right in there, and it'll fill up a little tank that's on the bottom side of your camper, so you have some on the go. Which I can drain that to help with your hauling when you leave here.
Okay. How big is that tank? You know, is it 10 gallon or?
It's bigger than 10
Is it?
They're usually pretty big on these campers. If you have one that has 2 axles or more, it might be around 20 or so.
Okay.
It can hold quite a bit of water.
Nice.
Water heater right here. Winterization. Do you know anything about that? So for winterizing, if you're not using a camper during the winter, it's not being lived in, it increases the chance of your pipes freezing and bursting. So what you do is you empty the water through there. This is your anode rod. What that does is that the calcium in the water eats up the rod and stuff the inside of your tank, making it last longer. Before you remove that, you really want to get rid of the pressure inside of your tank, because some of the water pump, which that one's on, and you could hear it running, but some of the water pumps are strong enough that once it has the pressure inside that tank, it'll shoot that rod out at you once it undoes itself.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a safety kind of thing. So winterizing is a process where you drain all the water out of your camper so there's no chance of freezing.
So you're going to show us that drain, and then this would be the other drain for this tank.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
The drain for the fresh water, I think it's actually on this side. Okay. That's behind this tire. It's this little valve right here.
Okay.
That's all that is. I'll leave that going because that takes forever with a tiny hole.
And then these are...
Those are your lines. So your hot water line and your cold water line after your water pump, that's what those connect to. But usually what we do, and we didn't do it for you because someone's going to be using this immediately, we add the antifreeze and the water mixture. So we usually have the lines filled with the pink liquid, and that's how you winterize.
Okay.
So all you'll do is, and you don't want that in your water heater because it makes the water smell and taste horrible forever. That stuff heats up, it's just awful. And apparently it stains copper, which is what the inside of the tank is. So what we do is we have a thing on the inside, I'll show you where that is. We have a little switch that we turn off the water heater so water can't get in there.
Okay.
And then we run antifreeze through the hose and the pump throughout the system. And I'll show you how that works once we get inside. That's a different whole process.
Now lighting this, is it very hard? Huh?
Automatic.
Oh,
So
it
this
is?
one, there's a switch on the inside, you'll flick it, and I'll show you the steps that it takes itself to try and light itself. If it doesn't, then you have a different problem, but this one will just light right up, so it shouldn't be that an issue. On the back, you have taillights and a vent for your fridge, as well as a spare, and that's about it. And your range vent, so that's for your your stovetop. Nothing else really over here on this side, except for there is a small handle far under there. It's really hard to see, but that goes to your kitchen sink, and your kitchen sink runs down this pipe all the way here to your sewage. And this is your gray and your black tank drop off. So this is where you get rid of all the wastewater that you have. Anything under a gray tank will be liquid waste. It'll be your showers, your sinks, something solid waste shouldn't go. Black tank's your toilet. Very simple. Usually they're labeled exactly by color, black and gray, but if they're not labeled by color exactly, like you have a red one, black will always be the sewage, the other color will be your liquid, whatever that they have. So that's very simple. With this one, take this off when you have it off. You just top that, and then you pull both of these.
Okay.
What that does is that just opens these little gates right here, drops them out.
Will we need to get a hose in today?
If you're at a site and you don't have anywhere to dump it, and you don't have any designated sewage, and you need a hose for drop off, yes, you'll need to get a hose because they don't come with it.
Okay, we have. Yeah, we're gonna be hooking up. So, so pull those levers, hook it up, let it flow continuously, right?
You want to hook it up first.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But those are the on switches. Yeah.
Okay.
So once you get it all hooked up and everything that you need to go, you just pull those. I would pull black first and then gray, because the gray helps flush the black down the hose, so you don't have a full hose at the end.
Okay, makes sense.
And your last thing right here, which then also your power, and these are your satellite and cable. So if you're at a campsite and they provide you with internet or cable through a fiber system, that's how that'll go.
Okay.
And you'll have labels by your TVs to show you which one is which. You also have a satellite, I think, but I can't confirm that right now. City water, so this is automatic fill. What you'll do is you'll take this out right here, and then you plug in a hose to it. This one's a screw in, you don't just set the hose in on this one. There we go. You'll screw a hose into that, it'll get secure, and it'll fill your lines just with water pressure. You don't have to flip on a pump or anything, it's like a house. You just automatically have water.
This is a standard hose too?
Just your garden hose.
Okay.
A lot of people, if they have a permanent setup and they have like an RV park that they're just staying at, I don't know how you guys are doing it. They just usually hook up a hose permanently, open up their tanks, and they have a hose hooked up at all times. and then you basically just have a house on wheels.
Yeah.
Yep. You don't have to do anything at night. You don't have to turn on the water, turn off the water. That's just how they like.
So you'll
it.
show us how to open those tanks up.
I mean, that's this. So.
Oh, you're saying open those up?
Yeah.
Okay.
They'll open up their sewers
Yep.
and their water.
Yeah.
This is the other side of your breezeway, which I didn't show you that on this one, but they had these little clips
Okay.
right there in case you need them open. Other side.
So this will be set up permanently for some tenants to move into.
So you have a location then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it'll
Yeah.
be set. My question is the seal that's going around the extension out here. Any recommendations as long as long-term maintenance goes? Do they need
If you
treated?
have a slant to it, I'd keep the slide on the downhill side.
Okay.
It's better for sitting. It's better for drainage. It's just kind of better for how the trailers sit. You'll see a lot of trailers, and sometimes they overdo it, but you'll see a lot of trailers that when their slide is out, they have the suspension set up to where it will make the trailer kind of hover down on that side.
Got it.
And that just helps with, like I said, the seating, with everything else. Sometimes they just have fridges in there, and the weight makes it do that. So.
Mm-hmm.
But nothing special on the seals that we need to.
Check them every 3 months, maybe, like you would your oil. Just
Okay.
kind of feel them. If they feel like they're deteriorating,
Yeah.
I would check them and make
Yeah,
sure that
with
there's no water.
UV and different stuff like that. Okay.
Something like that. Yeah, UV treatment. Yeah, you know.
Okay.
I'm not much on the upkeep of like outside stuff.
Okay.
I'm a mechanic guy, but
Yeah.
they have if you talk to a salesperson, they have a wide variety of like UV treatments for leather exterior or vinyl exterior, like your sliding or your seals, and they have lubricants for like your slide. Your slide specifically should use a silicone-based lubricant,
Okay.
because if you use an oil-based, tiny pieces of gravel will stick to those gears and it'll just chew it up.
Chew it up.
But that's if you're moving it a lot. Then again, you might not move it a lot, and you just really don't need to use it that often. I do believe that's everything for the outside. If you're ready for the inside.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. First thing you'll see is this little switch. It's your wonderful awning. This one's pretty slow, but this one is actually kind of big for one of this size.
Yeah, it is.
It is a little bit wrinkled, but if you leave the weight out, it'll simply just kind of straighten itself. Thanks to this elasticity of vinyl. Heavy winds, I wouldn't really have it out that often. It's not strong. It looks strong, it's not.
I almost want to just anyway.
Yeah. A nice breezy day, it probably wouldn't even be that bad. Like 15-mile-per-hour winds, I'd say max. Thermostat's right here, which I already had on furnace because it was cooler this morning. But you have your options for your fan, and so fan, I leave it on automatic just because that actually makes sure that it goes off of temperature. If you have it on low or high, no matter what you have, if you have it off or if you have it on furnace, if you have it on furnace or cool, that fan will always be on. So
Okay.
if you're trying to heat up, it doesn't really help you. The low and high option is simply if you want it to be quieter,
Okay.
because it'll usually automatically be on high. So with automatic, it just makes it easier to switch back and forth if you need to. Cool, I have usually around 67, 68. It does have a central vent. When it becomes more widespread, it goes all the way to the bedroom and all the way to this side through different vents throughout. It still does it, but it's more powerful when it's closed.
Is that Is it a gas heat or is it electric?
Your heat comes through the floor and it's gas.
It's gas. Okay.
Which, yeah, right here is where your furnace intake is. Any maintenance you'll need through this panel right here.
Okay.
Back here is where you'll unscrew, actually, oh, you're right here, sweet. Right here is the turn-off valve for your water heater, like I was telling you. So when you winterize, if no one's using this camper, and you
Okay.
need to shut off all the water, you turn all of these valves, making sure that water can bypass your water heater and fill out all the other things with antifreeze. That way it won't explode during like negative whenever it happens in Missouri. Because as you know, Missouri is very finicky when it comes to
Yeah.
temperatures. It's 80. It's negative 10.
So you're putting antifreeze in the.
lines. But we wash it right out with fresh water once we de-winterize.
Yeah.
To de-winterize, all you do is you just run the water until there's no foam, because that means the chemicals have kind of come out.
Okay.
Your keys, if I remember correctly, which I don't usually, this is definitely your door key, the square one. And your cubbies should be this one. And this should be your shower key,
Okay.
I believe. And that's a copy, so they're doubles.
Okay.
It's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
I can't English today. I'm very tired. I'm sorry. Windows, exit windows are right here. There's one in the bedroom. I'll use pull these handles should there be any need for an emergency exit. Emergency exits. Fire smoke detector, CO2 detector right here, and fire extinguisher. Let's see.
Is that heat?
This is your power box.
Oh.
So this will
okay.
show you where all your fuses and your breakers are. This is just cabinet space.
Okay.
You do have a mount that goes with that bracket. It just doesn't come with the TV. Radio, which it has A, B, and AB, which outside and inside. Apparently the B is like really good. And then to turn it off, you just push in the power button. So very simple.
What's this doing? Is it?
This is your antenna. So simply you go up on the direction to extend it, and you'll see it outside. It kind of like races up. Right there. You'll feel it resist. That means it's all the way extended. That gets better TV signals if you want to go off of an antenna instead of a satellite package. And then when you're traveling, all the way back down. And lights on your slides are manual, as well as these two. That one has a switch on the wall. I'm not sure why it's just that one, but designer choice, I suppose. Two sinks. Well, one larger than the other, single faucet. Triple top burner. Excuse me. As well as a very annoying pilot light. So the pilot light on this one is very small. It's just the Suburban type. I think it takes about a minute and a half to get it to like light. But the other top is just easy, just quick. Pilot light is the only problem with that. Light and fan for the range, as well as a microwave and fridge and freezer. Temperatures are on there. Should be at the top. And more cabinet space.
Pilot light on that, is it hard to light or is it automatic as well?
It is automatic, but it takes a while. So the way it works is you hold pilot, and you'll see a little device down there. You can't really tell what it is until you finally get. Oh, this is the other one. So this is the one. It does take a while still, but you need an external lighter. This one does not have a spark at the bottom. So Suburbans have a top burner sparker. Coleman's have a full spark. It's a different one.
So
They're right now.
okay, so that's just for the this.
This is just for the top burner. I can get a lighter and show you that pilot.
Are you just lighting that rail? That's in
Yes.
there?
So
Okay.
there's this little thing right there. That's where the gas comes out. That little hole.
Okay.
Once you finally get enough gas going through, you'll have an external light there, like a match or just some lighter, and eventually it'll finally light up. When it finally lights up, you can let go because it'll have a thermal coupler that tells you if the flame's going. Then you set it to whatever temperature you want, and it just fans out. Which,
But we can start the top with that spark,
oh, yeah,
right? Yeah.
the top works fine. It's just that gas is getting light again. Suburbans don't have a sparker in the oven for some reason. You know, very slow gas on this one. There's just another cabinet space. Bathroom. You have a glass shower. So it's important when you're traveling just to make sure it's a low latch setting because if it swings open, it'll just shatter entirely.
Yep.
More cubby space. Plug sink. Toilet has a little handle at the bottom. So what most people do is they fill it with a full bowl. They give it time, it'll fill up eventually. It's just weird. And they flush it all the way, and that's just how they go. Toilet paper.
Yep.
Nothing extra special there. The bed doesn't have Anything special in the room? You have a TV mount up here, as well as a separate light. This is where your TV could mount. Satellite and power right there. Another smoke detector in this room.
Were those tested? I didn't see them on the sheet.
Yes, we make sure that they anti-speed. So we have a battery at this whole thing. And then you have your pump, your water heater, and your slide control.
Okay.
This is also your gauge for your tanks. So this will show you your fresh tank has a third in it. Your black tank that does not have anything in it. That's its sensor's bugged up. I just dumped it yesterday.
So you just hit it. Okay.
Which the best way to do that, I guess, is to dump ice down your toilet. I mean, see, because it's moving, but it's not. Yeah.
So black's a third.
It's not. I dumped it yesterday, but the sensors get gunked up if customers leave it full when they drop it off with us. So what we technically do, what my family did, is we take a bucket of ice or a bag of ice and we dump it down the toilet, and it just kind of knocks around all the garbage that's in there when it's traveling. But
makes sense.
That's how we did it. With sensors, you either kind of get a new tank or you go in there and you completely change them, but by then you need a new tank. So
yeah. Leave this on, I guess, most of the time. The water heater, or
you can. It shouldn't cause any problems. That's the gas water heater. So I usually turn it on when you need water heated, so you're not using gas constantly.
Okay.
Because it will chuck propane if you leave it on all day.
It's probably good to relay to the folks.
And then this pump, what's that?
That's the water pump. So that's how I got the water from the tank that we have underneath to the faucets.
Okay.
You don't need that if you have a city water connection.
You won't need that on. Okay.
If you have a water hose connected to it, you should not need the pump hooked up.
Okay.
Or on, running. Which will save you on power.
Yeah.
And then the last is just that slide switch.
Do we want to move it in now, or we want to wait?
You can. Everything should be out of the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know how far it comes in, so I'll just make sure I'm not
That's a good call.
Is there any special thing with towing, like a latch or anything out there? We gotta.
I'll show you. So the tab going all the way down is literally the main part.
Mm-hmm.
Just put an extra cotter in just to make sure that it's safe. And if you leave enough room for me and my boss, I'll show him that stovetop. We can get that working, or find out what the problem is at least.
Okay. You think I can? You want me to stop in a minute, or?
It'll be fine to get down.
Okay.